Hello there. I'm doing a demo of these Ermaoren. It's a cymbal that I found on Amazon, and I've never heard of the brand, and so I wanted to give them an honest comparison here. So what I have is first the Ermaoren 20-inch ride compared to, well, frankly, my very favorite ride cymbal ever. It's a Cymbals Z Custom. And then I got a rare UFIP cymbal, which is also called a Cascian, from Italy. And that's a hi-hat. So I have a Cymbals hi-hat here in a minute, and I have a few other cymbals. But I just wanted to give you a comparison between the rides at first. So here's the Cymbals. And the bell. So that cymbal really cuts through in a mix. It cuts through when you're recording, it cuts through when you're playing out. This is a very good cymbal. Now for the Ermaoren. So the ride cymbal kind of sounds like a crash, like a big crash. Frankly, I've seen some very cheap cymbals, and this does sound better than the cheapest cymbals that I've heard. Let's see. Now we're going to compare an Ermaoren 18-inch crash to a Cymbals 16-inch medium crash. So the medium crash is actually a little thicker than this Ermaoren. And I noticed the Ermaoren ride actually sounded like a crash cymbal. So let's see about this thing. That was Cymbals. Well, as far as a crash, this sounds actually pretty decent when you just hit it for a crash, but when you're doing the individual things, you're probably not going to want to do many rides or anything on that cymbal. The medium crash, the Cymbals, as you could tell, was a little more dull, but it cuts through when you're recording, especially in a medium crash. That's a rock and roll cymbal right there, that medium crash. So it's not as bad as I expected. Now we're comparing an Ermaoren 16-inch crash to a Paiste sound, I don't know if you can see it, sound formula, what's called a full crash. This right here has been with me through many, many, many years of gigs and playing out and in recordings, and frankly this is my favorite crash cymbal that I have heard or seen. Of course I have not. I don't have super expensive taste, so there's probably cymbals out there that are better than these, but I love this cymbal. As you can see, I beat the hell out of it, but this has been like 30 years of playing, so that cymbal has stood the test of time. So we're comparing it, this cymbal, the Ermaoren, against one of my favorite cymbals of all time. So keep that in mind. So first of all, let's listen to the Paiste. This has got a very quick decay. It's very good for, I kind of play blues, rock, and I like the quick hit and decay, so it doesn't linger in the mix and in the sound. So, But that cuts. That cymbal really cuts. I like it. Let's see what this Ermaoren does. That's actually pretty good. I'm impressed. Wow. It'll cut. The cymbal is a lot thinner. And I left a mark right here, right across it. I don't know if that matters. I know I left all kinds of marks on this bad boy. So the cymbal is thinner. I haven't played it out very much. I suspect it might break soon, but I tend to not break my cymbals. Like I said, this cymbal here has probably lasted like 30 years of playing pretty regularly, and I do like my cymbals. So you heard the difference. This one actually did not even sound as loud as an Ermaoren. And that one cuts through in recordings and has played in many gigs without mics on the cymbals, and people still heard it. So, again, I'm frankly really surprised. Now let's look at the Ermaoren hi-hat cymbal. First thing I noticed is fingerprints happen very quickly. I just picked these out of the bag and stuck them on the stand. The other thing is these ridges. I don't know if you could tell, but the ridges are more for cosmetic than actually ridges in the cymbal. And if you look down here, these are perfectly smooth. So I think the ridges have significance. So you'll see the Ermaoren hi-hat. Not bad. They do have a trash can sounding lid, but they they actually cut pretty well. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. We're comparing cymbals here. This is a Coscian, also known as a UFIP, UFIP, which is made in Italy. I'm not sure where I got this hi-hat cymbal, but here it is. A few comments about the Ermaoren hi-hat. Typically, in many hi-hat cymbal combinations, you have what's called a bottom hi-hat. This is a Cymbal, and typically the bottom is a little heavier than the top, and that allows for more, I don't know, it cuts through a little bit better. Allows more of a chink when you're hitting it, one of those things. So these two cymbals are exactly the same. There's no difference between the top and the bottom. So if I were them, I would fix that. But they weren't terrible. These are 15-inch hi-hats. I got these hi-hats because I wanted to rock and roll, and I wanted them to cut through. For a lot of things, I would actually prefer a 14-inch because you can play a little more tighter. The hi-hat comes up and down a lot faster. But as far as just banging out and just cranking out like a Led Zeppelin beat or something like that, 15-inch hi-hats are awesome. These Cymbal 15 hi-hats, they've been with me for They've been with me about 40 years. So these are wonderful. They have stood the test of time, and they cut through in gigs without mics. I like that tight hi-hat. So, I like these. So that's a 15-inch Celsius hi-hat cymbal.